Why do white Westerners convert to Islam? There are several reasons. One of them is that they're spoiled. They're dilettantes. You see these white women, for example, converting to Islam. A lot of these people are dilettantes. They're able to choose what to experience. They're able to choose what to like, what to deal with. Whatever they don't like, they can walk away from, and it's no big deal to them. So they see a religion and they say, "Oh, that's cool." They see something in it they like, and they say, "Oh, that's good." Then there's admirable things in it, and then they choose that is their religion supposedly without really being forced to pay a price to endure some trial or some uh, you know some ordeal in order to be accepted into the fold. So there's a fake sort of thing. They're imagining that in the Islamic world, religion is treated as it is in the West, a personal matter. No, that's not true at all. You're accepted as a Muslim if you're accepted by their society as a Muslim, or you don't just say I'm a Muslim and that's it. You're a Muslim. No, you have to follow the rules. You're not really accepted as one of them until you show them, yeah, you are a Muslim. You know all about this stuff that you're supposed to. It's not just praying and 5 times a day and the fasting. There's a lot more to it. A lot more stuff involved. It takes years to learn this stuff, and a lot of the stuff is not even known about by these uh, misty-eyed, bean-brained white Westerners who convert. They're converting very often without full knowledge of the religion. So, you have an element of dilettantism where these people, they're not forced to do this. They're choosing it. Other people in the world elsewhere are forced to endure this stuff. And they either adapt to it and make it their own or they rebel against it. But at any rate, there's that element of force that the dilettante doesn't have to endure. They don't have to pay a price. That makes me a little angry because my mother paid a price. We all paid a price. People died for the sake of this religion. They died for Islam in Iran. Uh, there were people who were called martyrs. They were killed in the Iran-Iraq War. They died for the sake of their beliefs. And you have these people here now who just had a nice meal and they burp and then they convert to Islam. This is bullshit. They don't have to lose a damn thing. They don't have to pay a price. Nothing. Get a pat on the back, from the Muslims here, because they want to use these people as a feather in their cap to say, you see what a great religion we have? These people converted to Islam. It's a propaganda, victory for them. They don't give a shit about the convert. If the convert changed their mind and said, well, actually, on second thought, I don't want to be a Muslim, they'd stop being friends with the convert. That would be it, in most cases. Because their only value, the only value that convert has to them is propaganda victory. That's it. It's all they're interested in. It's their shitty politics, their dumb struggle with the West, trying to prove that they're superior, which they're not. Okay. And something even more important to understand about the white Western converts, besides the fact that they're dilettantes and individualistic, narcissistic people who are experimenting and all that, is that Western culture has been destroyed. White people's culture has been destroyed to a very large extent. So they really don't have a sense of identity or self-worth. They're not allowed to have a sense of group identity. This is denied to them. Muslims have it. They have both their nation and their religion. They have, this is not denied to them. Arabs are proud of themselves and, as a race. They're some of the most racist people in the world. Read the writings of their medieval writers like Ibn Battuta and Ibn Khaldun, and you'll see how racist they were, and they still are, by the way. But there's the common uh, the common perception that Islam is not racist, that it's universal. Okay, well, the religion is universal. But Muslims can be racist like anyone else. White Western convert, is an outsider to them. I was making the point that these white Western converts have had their identity destroyed. From childhood, they've been raised on a mental diet of white guilt, that they have to apologize to the world for supposed evils like slavery or slaughtering the Native Americans and all these other things. They've never been told that the world is indebted to white people, because without white people, there wouldn't be such a huge population. We wouldn't have the modern agriculture that we have that feeds the whole world. We wouldn't have modern medicine with antibiotics and vaccinations that have eradicated or cured so many diseases. We wouldn't have the standard of living that we have: electricity, safe drinking water, standards of hygiene, all of the safeguards that keep the food supplies safe, telecommunications, effective methods of transportation, automobiles, airplanes, railroads, highways. We have all these things from white people, from the West, but the average white person is raised from childhood to feel guilty and apologetic about being white. They end up growing up without an identity or a feeling of self-worth in terms of a group identity. And they see themselves as atomized individuals, like gas molecules floating around in a vacuum. And they feel the need to attach themselves to something. They're understandably missing something. It's very tragic that this white guilt has been inflicted on them, because it's totally unjustified. The people who inflicted it on them were not their friends, and were certainly not doing mankind a service by doing that. Because white people did mankind a service by giving all of the things that I mentioned: in modern medicine, modern agriculture, the electricity, industry, safe drinking water, standards of hygiene and health. All of these things came from white people. In the Islamic world, the smallpox was eradicated by white people and their vaccines. They make up bullshit stories about we Muslims came up with the first inoculation against smallpox. Bullshit. The smallpox in Afghanistan was eradicated by white people. All their fantastic stories and childish self-assertion about being great is baloney. They're completely dependent on the West, and they've immigrated to the West in droves, obviously because their own civilization sucks. And yet you have white people here who feel apologetic, and they have white guilt, and they don't really open their eyes and see why is the rest of the world immigrating to a white-built, white-run society if white people are so evil and they stink so much? Why can't anyone stay away from a white-run society, white-built society? Obviously, there's a lot of dishonesty, and white people should think before abandoning their civilization. Their culture wasn't passed on to them by, from their grandparents or their great-grandparents, even though their great-grandparents did try, because of things like Hollywood, because of things like the mass media, and a terrible education system that drilled into their heads the idea that they're guilty and that they should be apologetic, and their sole purpose in life is to be a doormat for non-white people in the world. So you have these people that are inflicted with a psychological complex about themselves. They're traumatized. Their group psyche has been injured. They've been denied the ability to associate with their own kind, to advocate for their own kind. That's a universal human right. Every other group of people have that and take it for granted. But white people have not been able to enjoy that. It's been taken from them. It's been denied to them. The political correctness that everyone worships denies that to white people. That's not fair. It's a double standard, and it's racist. It's anti-white. White people should wake up to this reality. They should understand that they are being victimized here. They're the victims of a very racist propaganda against them. The people who convert to Islam should take these things into consideration. Why do Muslims come to the United Kingdom? Why do Muslims come to America? If white people stink so badly and they're just, no use. Everyone can't stand them. Why is everyone trying to come to the country they built? Why is everyone trying to benefit from their technology? Why is modernization essentially the gaining of Western technology, of technology that white people invented? White people, again, a lot of them, they've been traumatized, they've been raised on white guilt. It's been drilled into their head. It will take a long time to get rid of that. The first step is for you to take control of who you are and stop trying to be a chameleon and stop trying to please others. Stop trying to be a whore. The epitome of someone who pleases others and lives for others is a whore. Instead, show respect to your own people, learn about them, learn about the culture that wasn't passed on to you by your disgusting education system that we have, that drilled white guilt into your head. Learn about the heroes of your own history, of your own country. Question the things you've been taught. Andrew Jackson killed Native Americans. Yes, well, his people were involved in a struggle with them. Did you expect him to be on the side of the Native Americans against his own people? Think. Ask questions. Challenge these things you've been indoctrinated in. Think for yourself. Don't run off and become a little salam alaikum and abandon the civilization that you're supposed to pass on to future generations of your people. A civilization that put a man on the moon. Don't listen to these Muslims. They don't care about you and your people. They care only about themselves. They want you because you're good for them. They don't want you for your own good. If they knew what was good for you, they would realize they were hurting you by letting you convert to their religion. They would realize that they're inflicting on you oppression. They themselves don't allow their women to convert to other religions and marry foreign men. This is a double standard. Are you respecting yourself by letting yourself be pillaged by Muslims when they won't let their women marry non-Muslims and convert to a non-Muslim religion, another religion other than Islam? Think about these things. It's not all about you. Get out of the narcissistic mentality. Quit worshiping yourself. Think of other people. Think of your people. Think of what you owe them. Think of what you've also been denied. Think of your own rights, your real rights. The right to turn your back on your civilization, or your right to have what's yours. The right to question your oppressors. Think. Thank you.